in international and national journals and also published 5 books on applied mechanics. Sir has carried out various projects and programs in the areas of faculty development program, curriculum design and review, rural development, print and non-print instructional material development, and R&D projects. We are really honored to have him today with us. So now I would request Professor S.K. Singla sir to come forward and grace the occasion. I welcome you, sir.
Thank you so much, Priyanka ji, for such an elaborate introduction. And it is really a matter of pleasure and privilege for me to interact with the August gathering of teachers. Very recently, we had the Teachers' Day on 5th of September. So I normally address our institute faculty and students here on the Teachers' Day. And I always say that teaching is a profession which teaches all other professions. Without teachers, no other profession is possible. And our first teacher is our parents. So the very life of life exists because of this teaching learning process. Thank you so much. And I'm extremely thankful to Professor Ajay Kumar Bansal ji also for giving me an opportunity to interact with such a great audience. Thank you so much, Ajay ji. And thank you so much, Priyanka ji. Well, friends, a very good morning once again to everyone, and I welcome to the session on ethics and value-based leadership. I will be speaking largely in English, but please excuse me if I use Hindi every now and then. That's our mother tongue. And my mother tongue is Punjabi basically, but I will be using Hindi phrases sometimes, but I will be translating them simultaneously in English also. I hope my this pace of delivery and am I audible clearly to everyone? Okay. I would like this session to be very enjoyable and very interactive in nature. I was talking to Ajay sir in the morning also that I would like to keep the sessions very live and interactive in nature because I belong to an institute where we promote pedagogy also. The teaching learning process becomes very effective if we understand the pedagogy. I mean, you are all adults, you are not students, you are all faculty members in your respective institutions, and I really value that. Adult teaching may, especially when you are teaching to the teachers, it becomes paramount of paramount importance that you interact. So I would first of all make a humble request to all of you to kindly interact with me. We will both enjoy the session, and I come to my sessions for learning. I have nothing to teach you, my dear friends. You already know the subject. You already, Google has everything with you. My predecessors in the previous sessions have talked largely what I am going to share with you. Probably I have not gone through the timetable though, but I understand that there's nothing rocket science I am going to talk to you. These are the very common things, but whatever you can carry home and able to apply in your everyday professional and personal life will be the outcome of this session. Whatever little you can appreciate and you are able to carry that back. And I would like to carry back sweet memories and some learnings from all of you also. The best teacher is who keeps learning all his life. And the moment a teacher says that I have come to the end of my subject, he has finished his teaching career. I personally believe so. So I would like to interact with all of you. Every now and then, I will like to request some of you or one of you or all of you to kindly unmute yourself and interact with me. Is it all right, Ajay sir?
Yes, sir.
People have the option to unmute themselves every now and then.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So at the very outset, I'm going to start my session with a story. Okay, I'm going to share a story with I learned from my grandmother since my birth, and up to her last breath, she was talking to me, on various stories, and through those stories, we learned a lot. My grandmother was among my first teachers, and I'm going to share that story with all of you. I would like to first of all get one participant who is going to volunteer himself or herself to read that story with me? Who will like to volunteer? Kindly unmute yourself and say yes, sir. Kindly unmute yourself, or I will have to pick up somebody from here and say, kindly join me in reading that story. Yes,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
waiting. Who's going to read that story with me?
Yes, sir. I am Dr. B.D. Aswaline.
Doctor,
Dhwaj Aswaline.
I'm seeing Dr. Varish.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Dr. Varish, thank you so much for volunteering yourself. I am just noting down your name. Dr. Varish. आप कौन से कॉलेज से हैं डॉक्टर वरीश?
Sir, Meerut Institute of Engineering and Technology, Meerut, UP.
Okay, okay. So, Mr. Just hold on a second. Let me show you that story first, and then we will start with the session. I was disconnected. I don't know why. Am I now again visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
I was disconnected. I don't know why it was disconnected. Anyway, Dr. Varish, are you able to listen to me? Dr.
Yes,
Varish,
sir.
keep yourself unmute. And if you can unmute your, आपकी मेरी आवाज इको कर रही है, maybe your mic is on और काफी low volume में किसी का speaker on है. Hello, somebody's speaker is on. Oh, maybe there's some problem. Just hold on a second. I think I need to leave from here and join. I think now I'm fine, है ना?
Yes, sir.
Okay, there was some. I'm sorry for the technical glitch little bit. I was joining at two places, so my own voice was echoing. So I thought that somebody else speaker is on. Anyway, so I now know. Okay, Mr. Varish, we carry on with the story.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Varish, can you unmute your video also so that we can see you also? Hello.
Yes, sir.
डॉक्टर वरीश अपना वीडियो भी ऑन कर लीजिए, अनम्यूट कर लीजिए.
Done, sir. Done.
I am not able to see you yet. मिस्टर अजय, आपको इनके डॉक्टर वरीश दिखाई दे रहे हैं?
अभी वीडियो ऑन नहीं की सर.
डॉक्टर वरीश, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Are you audible?
आपका
I
वीडियो
have
ऑन
on.
नहीं है अभी भी.
Video is on, sir.
आपको अपनी पिक्चर दिखाई दे रही है वीडियो की?
Yes, sir.
Anyway, so we will start with the story. We are not able to have a look at your videos. We want to have more participation. As such, this mode of communication on the online creates certain barriers. So I wanted to remove those barriers when we have a eye contact with all of you also. Anyway, we will start with a story. Are you able to see the story now?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Are you
Yes,
able to
sir.
read it?
Yes, sir, we can see.
Okay. So this story is about, the title of the story is Jewels Under the Saddle. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Let me just give an introduction to the story, then Dr. Varish will be reading the story for all of us. My dear friends, sharing a story that I heard from my granny. If it touches you the way it did me, please do share, because a story shared lives on forever. This story is for all of us. So as I mentioned, this story is from my granny, and I'm just trying to find out the views are okay. Am I covering the slides?
No, sir.
Okay, ठीक है. Okay. Uh, as an old Irish saying goes, 3 apples fell from the tree. One for him who tells the story, and Dr. Varish is going to tell the story to all of us, and one for him who reads or listen to the story. So one apple goes to Dr. Varish, and one apple will go to all of you, because you're going to read it also and you're going to listen to also. And one for him who understands it. And I am sure you will all understand it also. So all of you get 2 apples. And you will have 1 apple when you read this. And I hope you receive the 2 of them. I hope that you will read it also, listen, and you will understand. And when you will tell some other person, you will get the 3rd apple also. So I hope you get all the 3 apples. So Mr. Girish, Mr. Varish, please.
Once upon a time, what happened did happen, or you
डॉक्टर वरीश थोड़ा सा
would
माइक के
not be.
करीब आइए, आपकी आवाज कम है. Okay.
Sir,
Now.
once upon a time, now it is okay.
Yes, perfectly fine.
What happened did happen, or you would not be hearing this story. A merchant on a casual jaunt, a short excursion or journey made for pleasure through a market, came across a fine specimen of a camel for sale. The merchant and the camel seller, both skilled negotiator, struck a hard bargain. The camel seller, pleased with his skill of warming, that is, work subtle or gradually, out what he felt was a very good price, parted with his camel, and the merchant suffered that he had struck a fantastic bargain, proudly walked home with the latest addition to his large livestock.
Thank you so much, Dr. Varish. We'll carry on the story. So, my dear friend, the plot of the story is that there was a merchant who was walking through the market, and in the olden times, we used to have market. Today also, we have the market. Regular markets are done for selling the kettles. And in our area, from where I come from, with Punjab, camels used to be the market. Camel market used to be there once in a while, once in a 2 years or 3 years. So people used to buy and sell the kettles. So this merchant buys a camel from a camel seller, and both were very happy. The camel seller was very happy that he has got a good price for his camel, and the merchant was also very happy that he got a very beautiful camel. So, Dr. Varish, please carry on.
On arriving home, the merchant called to his servant to come and help him take out the camel's saddle. The undoubtedly difficult to carry or handle due to size, shape, or weight. Heavily padded saddle being too difficult for the servant to manage on his own. Hidden under the saddle, the servant found a small velvet pouch, which on opening he discovered to be filled with the precious jewels. The servant was overexcited. Master, you bought a camel, but see what came free along with it.
So you can see in the picture also here. So he was, when the servant was taking out the saddle, he found a pouch, a velvet pouch, and there were jewels in it, very precious. And he was so excited. Master, you bought a camel, see what came free along with it. Dr. Vrish?
The merchant was astonished as he looked at the jewels in his servant's palm. They were of extraordinary quality, sparkling and twinkling in the sunlight. I bought the camel, he said, not the jewels. I must return them to the camel seller immediately. The servant was aghast, filled with horror or shock. His master was really foolish. Master, no one will know, but the merchant headed right back to the market and handed over the velvet pouch back to the camel seller.
So, uh, when he said he must, I have paid only for the camel, but not for the jewels, and I must return the jewels to the camel seller. The servant thought that his master is gone mad. Who returns the jewels of that quality? And he said to his master that no one will know about it, master, kindly keep it. But the merchant seller went right back to return that pouch of that velvet pouch of jewels to the camel seller. So see what happens next.
The camel seller was very happy. I had forgotten that I hid these jewels in the saddle for safe keeping. Here, choose one of the jewels for yourself as a reward. The merchant said, I paid a fair price for the camel, and the camel only. So no thank you. I do not need any reward. But as much as the merchant refused, the camel seller insisted instead. Finally, the merchant said, sheepishly smiling, actually, when I decided to bring the pouch back to you, I already took two of the most precious jewels and kept them for myself.
So the story is taking a twist. Uh, the camel seller was telling the merchant that as a gift, as a prize, as a reward for your honesty, keep one jewel. But the merchant said, I had paid a fair price for the camel and only for the camel. I do not require any reward. But the camel seller was insisting that he must keep at least one jewel as a reward. Finally, the merchant seller said, and that I have already kept not one jewel, but I have kept two jewels before I came to return that pouch back to you. All right, you are understanding that? So next,
At this confession, the camel seller was a bit flabbergasted, greatly surprised or astonished, and quickly emptied the pouch to count the jewels. However, he was very confused. All my jewels are here. What jewels did you keep?
So the camel seller was quite astonished, and he thought that let me see and count the jewels, the two jewels which he has kept. But he found that there were all the number of the jewels in the pouch was as he has kept it there. And then he asked him, "Ke, what jewels did you keep? They are all here."
The two most precious, said the merchant.
The camel seller asked him, "Which two jewels you have picked up?" The merchant said, "The two most precious." Let us see.
My integrity and my self-respect are the two most precious jewels.
Yes. No material jewels or element can be compared with the price of integrity and Dr. Girish, Dr. Varish,
Yes, sir.
integrity and
Self-respect. My
these
self-respect.
are the two jewels which he has kept with him. So let us see what is integrity. Kindly read it, Varish.
Integrity is choosing your thoughts and actions based on value rather than personal gain.
Yeah, integrity is choosing your thoughts and actions based on the values rather than your personal gain. This merchant has not kept the material jewels, keeping in view the personal gain he will be getting out of it, but the values which he carried, the value system which he carried. So that was the integrity. He has one first jewel. And what is self-respect?
Self-respect. If you don't have it, the world will walk all over you.
And thank you so much, Dr. Varish. Thank you so much for reading the story for all of us. You are a wonderful reader, Dr. Varish. Thank you so much. You can now mute your mic. So, my dear friend, the self-respect is, if you do not have that self-respect, the whole world will walk over. You have all the material accumulations with you, but if you lack self-respect, the people will walk over. And nobody in this world like to be walked over by the others. So these are the two jewels. My dear friends, now I like to ask a question here. How would you explain integrity to a young child? The answer given by Roger Jenkins explained it as, what is integrity? He said that the ability to do the right thing, the ability to do the right thing, or choosing to do the right thing when you could get away with doing the wrong thing. This merchant could have kept and nobody would come to know. His servant suggested him, but then he chose to do the right thing because he has not paid for those jewels. You know, this is the basically, if you understand and able to appreciate this story, my session is almost complete on this, but we will talk further on this. So remember this Roger Jenkins explanation on integrity: the ability to do right things or choosing to do the right thing when you could get away with doing the wrong thing. When you have an opportunity to be wrong, but you choose to be right, that is basically your integrity. Thank you so much, my dear friends, and thank you so much, Dr. Varish, once again. I will कैसे करेंगे पूरी screen के ऊपर.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so we are back here again. So my dear friends, we have learned a couple of lessons from this story. We will try to elaborate those things in my presentations now, a formal presentation on value and ethics based leadership. Are you guys able to see my PPTs?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Before I actually present my PPT here, I like to stop my sharing here. I would like to have one more volunteer who's going to represent all other participants and be with me throughout the session. I want one volunteer now from all of you who will have to volunteer himself or herself, who is going to be representing all of you, so that I ask question in between, am I audible? Or I require somebody to say, nod his or her head when I am going to talk to, when I talk to that person who's going to volunteer, I assume that I am talking to all of you. So who will have to volunteer for that? I want one more volunteer here now. Waiting for you.
May I, sir?
I want somebody else now.
Good morning, sir. Mariappan.
Who will be there? Hello?
I can volunteer, sir.
Mariappan.
Yes,
You
sir.
say it Mariappan or Mariappan?
Mariappan, Mariappan, Mariappan.
Mariappan. Dr. Mariappan,
Yes,
आप कौन से कॉलेज से हैं?
Kamaraj College of Engineering and Technology, Tamil Nadu, Virudhunagar.
Okay. Thank you so much for volunteering, Mariappan. Kindly keep yourself unmuted now throughout the session. And can we see your video also?
Okay.
Dr. Mariappan?
Okay, sir.
Now we are able to see you. Thank you. Thank you so much for volunteering yourself. Welcome to the, you are going to join me in the session. And when I say talk to Mariappan, so I am talking to every one of you. Okay. So Mariappan, you be with my partner in this journey to the session. I will be now sharing my PPTs with all of you. Are you able to read it, Mariappan?
Yes, sir. Ethical and value-based leadership.
Okay. So my dear friends, let us now begin the session on ethical and value-based leadership. And I request all of you to kindly focus on the images also. I have very carefully selected the images as well as the phrases on my PPTs. Mariappan, can you read it now?
Yes, sir. Wrong is wrong. Even if everyone is doing it, right is right, even if no one is doing it.
So what do you understand by it, Mr. Mariappan?
So, galti to galti hai. Even somebody is doing the galti, that is, it is not right. Okay. So, right is right. ठीक तो ठीक है. Even if somebody is doing galti.
You are trying to speak in Hindi, speak in English. English is understandable by everyone.
Okay, sir. Even if somebody is doing, even if everyone is doing it, wrong is wrong.
Okay.
जो भी करता है wrong होगा तो wrong है. Even it is a supreme leader or like that. Okay.
Okay.
So right is right. Even if no one is doing it, if no one is doing the right thing, right is always right.
Okay. So thank you so much. I like your smile on the video, and everyone is also liking your smile. And keep smiling all the time. It is contagious. When you smile, everybody else around you also smile. So, my dear friends, wrong is wrong, even if everyone is doing it. And right is right. Right will always remain right, even if nobody is doing it. I give you a very small example over here. You know, you are at the signal. You are at the you're driving and you are at the signal, and suddenly you find that everyone is crossing. Mariappan, you be there. Be around me.
I am with you,
I
sir.
want
I
you
am
come.
always with you.
Okay. So I feel uneasy without you now.
No, sir.
So, you know, on that signal, you find that there is a red light and you are stopping at that red light. Okay. And nobody is stopping. Everybody is jumping the signal. I mean, even if there is a red light, people are going. So if you now read this once again, right is right. You are at the right position when you stop your vehicle, even if everyone is crossing it. And wrong will remain wrong, even if everybody is crossing. It is a wrong thing to do to cross or to jump the red signal. Am I right, Mariappan?
Yes, sir. That is right.
And this is a very small incident. I mean, and it happens in everybody's life every day in India, that we feel that everybody is jumping, so I also jump the red light. So everybody is, you know, you the right thing starts with me. With me, if I want to stop, at least somebody will be motivated, and even if nobody is motivated, at least my own consciousness is telling me that I am doing a right thing. Am I right, Dr. Mariappan?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And do not limit my example to the life में और बहुत सारी ऐसी चीजें हैं. There are so many other things which we take it like everybody is doing it, so let me also do it. Everybody is doing like this, so let me also carry on like this. Take listen to your consciousness and do the right thing. So this is what I wanted to say right in the beginning itself. And before we go further, I want all of you to take this pledge with me that till next 1 hour or so, you are a learner, you are a seeker, you have a pen and paper. Please carry a pen and paper with you. And I am going to make my notes and I will use them. I want each one of you to kindly make notes and use them. And I want to learn. You kindly take this pledge with me, and that's how we will go on with the session. Okay.
Okay.
You expect your student to carry a pen and paper. So I am expecting my students today, and I am also carrying a pen and paper all the time with me. Whatever things you are going to share with me, I take a note of it and include that in my next session if they're relevant. Anyway, so after this pledge, we start with this thing. Potter Stewart. Potter Stewart said, ethic is knowing the difference between what you have a right to do and what is right to do. What you have right to do and what is right to do. Mariappan, can you explain, please? Or
Yes,
I want
sir.
anybody can unmute and say. Anybody would like to unmute his or her mic and share? Mariappan ji, आप भी बता सकती हैं. What do you understand by this?
So by means of ethics, we can differentiate what you have to do and what is right.
Okay, somebody else? Somebody else like to unmute and share? Yes, please.
Hello,
Yes, please.
sir. I am
Yes,
Ajay Chaudhary here.
yes.
Sir, according to this quote, means ethics means one person when known about the difference, what kind of the right they have. Means according to societal, according to the constitution, what kind of the rights they have, and what the right means, what the right thing according to these rights they have to perform.
Very right, sir. Thank you so much. Somebody else now? Somebody else? Thank you. If you understand, these are very simple things though. But then I find that in my sessions that there is some kind of clarity requires, and it has to go home so that you can practice these things. Yes.
Hello,
Hello.
sir. I'm Rajalakshmi.
Yes, Rajlakshmi ji.
Sir, according to my understanding, this quote tells about the awareness of circumstances. That is, we have to act according to the circumstance, even though narrowly a thing is right.
Okay. Thank you so much, Rajlakshmi ji.
Thank you, sir.
My dear friends, the Potter Stewart said, ethic. What ethic is? He defined the ethic when you know the difference. जब आपको ये अंतर दोनों में अंतर समझ में आए किस किस चीज में what you have the right to do, आपका अधिकार क्या है, what right you have and what is right to do, और ठीक करना क्या है, what is right thing to do and what you have the
Rights.
right, आपका अधिकार क्या है. For example, going back to the same example again, आपका अधिकार है कि आपको freedom of movement है. All right, you can do so many things. But what is the right thing to do under those circumstances if you know the difference between the two? In many situations in the life, हमारा अधिकार है कि मैं ऐसे किसी को बोल सकता हूँ. I can be rude with anyone. मेरा अधिकार है because I have right to speech. But is it right to be rude with somebody even if he or she is younger to you or working at a lower position than you, or whatever the situations may be? Even if you are right, even यदि आप ठीक भी हैं, even then does it give you right to be rude with anybody else? You know, there are so many situations in the life we come across. If you understand the difference between under all those circumstances, your right and what is right to do, you know the ethics. And as leaders, we have to make decisions. We have to give vision to the people who are working under us. And as a leader, there are so many dilemmas you come across. Dilemma, you understand? Dilemma means
Yes, sir.
दुविधा. ये करूं, ये नहीं करूं, ये करूं, ये नहीं करूं. I will give you one tool here in the session which will help you in taking the right decision. As a leader, when you are able to understand the difference between your right and what is right to do, you are following the leadership. You are leading the people in the right direction, in the right way. And my dear friends, each one of us are leaders. We play leadership role in the homes, in the profession also. You have a leader like director of the institute or the principal. HOD is the leader of the department, and you are the leader in your classroom. Am I right or wrong, Dr. Mariappa ji?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
We are
sir.
all leaders.
So each one of us is playing the leadership role, and since each one of us is playing as a leadership role, even in the homes, we have a CEO, the senior most person in the family. Unfortunately, our families are now disintegrating and we are living in single unit families. That is why we are facing so many problems. Anyway, everybody is leader nowadays in the families. Anyway, don't worry about it. But if everybody is leader, everybody must understand the difference between what you have a right to do and what is right to do. If you are able to understand this definition, my dear friends, I very carefully selected this Potter Stewart's definition about ethics so that it goes home with everyone. In the
Excuse me,
class,
sir.
yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, I'm Sir Sanjeev S. Thakur. from Anand Engineering College, Agra. I have one question. May I ask?
Please do so.
Sir, my confusion is this: if a person is having legitimate right to do anything, and he exercises that right, then it may also be unethical in some circumstances, or not?
It will not. It will never be. Unethical. It will never be unethical because all our legislative rules are made on the principle of good to the humanity only.
Yes, sir.
It is like that we twist, we somehow make use of those things in our own vested interest. That merchant had the right, but he knew that this is not the right thing to do.
Okay, then sir, how and why a person needs to make difference between the right to do and
That is
knowing
why,
what is
Sanjeev,
the right?
Mr.
Ji, sir.
Sanjeev, that is why we are having this session here. That is why
Okay,
we are
sir.
having this session here on ethics and values. Having understood, having known everything, we still do the mistakes and we need to correct ourselves. We have to be wiser every day, every single day. Is
Yes,
it
sir.
so, Sanjeev?
Ji, sir.
Okay. As you will go
Okay,
further, you will understand it further. My dear
thank you so much,
friends,
sir.
my dear friends, as a leader, the only responsibility of the leader is the people whom he is leading. For example, you are the leader of the class. You are leading the class. Okay. So your class is the group of people, group of that masses whom you are leading. The only responsibility of the leader is to make his group great and prosper. If you are in the home, if you are the CEO of your home, your responsibility is that you want your dignity, your name of your family name, and the house should prosper. As long as you are doing these two things, you are a good leader in the home and you are a good leader in the classroom. If every student of your class is prospering and they are doing great things in the life, you have done a good role as a teacher. Sanjeev ji, am I right?
Sir, very right, sir. Agreed, sir.
So I have defined the role of the leader here in every situation, in every place. The only role of the leader is the people whom he is leading, that should lead to greatness and prosperity. And Swami Vivekananda, I'm taking his quote here. Swami Vivekananda gave us three principles, only simple three things. How can you achieve greatness and prosperity? He said, Doctor, I have read all the life and works of Swami Vivekananda. I recommend all of you to read that. Swami Vivekananda said, no nation can become great or achieve prosperity without its people developing a sense of three things. Number one, self-discipline. Number two, social responsibility. Number three, cooperative work attitude. So if you, me, everyone in a family or in a class or in a organization are having a sense of self-discipline, social responsibility, and cooperative work attitude, nobody can stop greatness and prosperity in that organization. He has mentioned that word nation here. I am replacing that nation word from the organization. If everyone in an organization is self-disciplined, you do not require a policeman to challan you to stop at the red light. You do not require a policeman to stop you at the red light. You are self-disciplined. We are today spending a lot of money on the bureaucracy, on the management and other things. They are non-productive खर्चा हो रहा है, हमारा expenditure है. That expenditure could be spent on developmental activities because we are not self-disciplined. That is why we require that. and social responsibility. My dear friends, I am going to share with you what I shared with our Honorable Prime Minister Modi Sahab also, and I stand by my word. Within 21 days, this curse of pandemic of COVID-19 can be eradicated from India and from the whole world also. If we are able to only discharge our social responsibility. Do you agree with me on this, Dr. Mariappa?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Let me explain it to you. You must be thinking what I'm talking about. You know, it's a very simple thing. I gave a 4-point agenda to to our Prime Minister, Honored Prime Minister also. You know, if we are able to completely lock down, no movement except essentials, and isolate those people who are affected by it and treat them, and let there be no other movement of other people, within 21 days this pandemic will go. Why we are not able to do that? Because some people depend for their everyday needs on their daily wages. What will happen to them? I am not boasting here, but let me share with you. We have a maid in our home. Her husband plies a auto rickshaw. Auto rickshaw chalata hai. And during hard times, abhi to kuch position theek hai, during hard times, he was not doing much business because people were restricting in their movements. So their bread and butter was in the, at stake. So I requested my wife, since this lady has been working and enabling me to work very hard, enabling my wife to work very hard, she's also a professor in an engineering college here. Why don't we discharge our social responsibility? We increase the wages of this lady to double, and we can very well afford it. Similarly, there was a person at the end of our street who was ironing our clothes, dhobi tha ek. And similarly, I saw a couple of people who were dependent on their daily wages around me. At least about 8 to 10 people I could, with my and my wife's humble salary, we could afford and discharge our social responsibility. And my dear friends, there are so many people who can, and they are doing it. I am not saying that they are not doing it. If we are able to discharge our social responsibility and let nobody go to the bed with a hungry stomach, we can very easily completely lock down and eradicate. This disease is contagious. When we break it, put a complete full stop on that, it can be thrown out of the world. What to say of in the country? In my institute, we exercise, myself and my director here, when the things were very bad, so we discharge our social responsibility over. Do you agree with me, Dr. Mariappa?
Yes, sir.
A little away from your own self. Think little away from your own self. Little bit. Itna sa. Those who are able to do that. And then that economic liability hai, if we are all the time thinking government ye karegi, we are the government. We, each one of us, the government here. If we get governed by our consciousness and discharge our social responsibility, this pandemic can go like this. I have a model, practically possible model, which can be exercised in any country, in any organization, in any situation, any locality, and it can. Similarly, my dear friends, there are so many other things which we can eradicate from our society if we discharge social responsibility. In our olden times, if there were 4 people living together, 4 brothers living together, if one of them was not earning so well, was not able to do well, so we were discharging our social responsibility, and the house used to be prosper and great. Now, unfortunately or fortunately, I do not want to enter into that discussions here. But then we are not fulfilling that social responsibility. Social responsibility की एक छोटी सी example मैं और देता हूँ. Then we go to the next slide. In our tradition in Punjab, there is a tradition in Punjab that whenever you get married, suppose I get married, I got married in 87, for example, I will go to my village, and in every village there is a pond. There is a village pond. At one time, that village pond was the source of water for everyone. When there was no rains, when there was no tube wells and other things, that pond was, and everyone in the village used to protect that pond. जो उसका तालाब था, उसको सभी गांव के लोग मिलकर उसमें कोई गंदा चीज नहीं फेंकते थे, उसको प्रोटेक्ट करते थे. Coming back to my marriage example, it was a tradition, it was a ritual. They made it a ritual, which was a tradition, that if I am getting married, second day of my marriage, अगले दिन ही, शादी के अगले दिन ही, the husband and wife along with the whole family will go to that pond and उसमें से मिट्टी निकालते थे. Because the pond used to get silt, so they used to remove the soil, the earth from that pond, so that the pond is never silted up. Pond should always remain there. Because if you understand a little bit of history, the civilizations came only where there is a source of water. We cannot live without water. And it is a prediction that in coming maybe 50 years or 60 years, whole of South India is going to be without water. See what we are doing to conserve our, the very source of our life. We have abused it so much. And see, our traditions were social responsibility here. I will not throw anything wrong, and I will not allow anybody else to throw anything wrong in that. अभी तो सारा सीवर, सारा गंद जो है, we are closing down all the ponds in the villages because they are creating diseases. We are not maintaining them. We are not discharging our social responsibility. Am I right or wrong, Mariappa ji?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Jarur.
When, yes, you want to say something, sir?
Yes, we are having a tradition that when separation is taking place within the brothers, they will not separate the well.
Yeah.
The resource, water resource.
Yeah.
It is as per the rules, we cannot separate the water resources.
Okay. So what I am trying to say here, my dear friends, self-discipline, social responsibility, and cooperative work attitude. Wherever you are working, if my wife is working, I should help her in the household also. Why not? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, no, Mariappa ji.
करते हैं जी.
करना चाहिए, because cooperative work, you want her to contribute to the finances, to the economy, to increase the living standard of the home, but we are not ready to help her. Similarly, in every office, if there is one colleague who is not able to do certain things, we must cooperate. But what happens is, what to say of cooperation, we try to pull legs. वो आगे कैसे निकल रहा है, how
like frog
going ahead. So that pulls the whole group of people down, that pulls the whole community down. So see, these three words, I could have very easily read this slide and gone done with it, but then see the three things, only three very simple things, not very difficult thing. I'm not asking something very difficult. Self-discipline, social responsibility, and cooperative work attitude at the home and at the profession. If I am driving on the road, cooperative work attitude ki baat. If I'm driving on the roadside and I see an old person also driving, cooperative work attitude is allow him to
go in front.
और अभी हम क्या करते हैं, I try to be mad, or he should not be coming on the road. So this is your attitude. So if you are having that kind of a attitude, There is a pedestrian who is slow to cross the road. I allow him or her to cross the road. We are all having time for everything, but when it comes to on the roadside, we do not have time. In India, we have a attitude of we are too much in a hurry to, main nikal jaun bas. I should somehow everybody on the road should give way to me, but I do not give way to anyone. Whether anybody has a right or not right, I don't want to give a right to anyone.
Even though nowadays, sir, even though they are walking in the pathway, some vehicles are hitting them in the fast way.
Yes, sir. And in India, pedestrian accidents are highest in the world because we run over them. We don't care. Anyway, my dear friends, the next slide is great leaders
Create a few non-negotiable ethics and values for the organizations which they follow strictly.
Yeah, they create non-negotiable ethics and values. Uske upar fir if there will be red light, even Narendra Modi ji is coming there on that the red light, his vehicle will stop. And everyone is following those ethics and values very strictly, non-negotiable. There will not be any compromise on this. If I say that I want to be polite with everyone in this my organization will be polite to each other. Everyone will be polite to each other. We will not be rude to the others, whatever the circumstances is. The leader himself or herself and all people in that organization follow those ethics and values on those which they create. And many times, my dear friends, I have a separate session on code of ethics, which we will not covering in this. There are certain written code of ethics. There are certain unwritten code of ethics also. Unwritten code of ethics. Nobody has written them, but we understand and we follow that. And we call it a culture of that organization. Our office is our institute is an organization. Our state is an organization. My home is an organization. My city is an organization. My state is an organization. Yes, and our country is also an organization. So the leader's role is to create a few non-negotiable ethics and values for the organizations which they follow strictly. And Thomas Jefferson said, Mariappa ji,
I hope our wisdom will grow with our.
आपकी आवाज कट रही है थोड़ी सी. You are not audible, sir. Can somebody else unmute and read it?
Sir, I hope our wisdom will grow
you hear
with
me,
our
sir?
power and teach us that the less we use our power, the
Yes,
great
now
it
we are
will
able
be.
to listen to you, Mariappan ji. Thank you, Arun ji. We back. Mariappan ji is back now. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
I hope our wisdom will grow with our power and teach us that less we use our power, the greater it will be.
So there is a phrase in English: power corrupts everyone. Absolutely. We have, किसी को भी power दे दें, so it will in the long run or in the short run, depending on his or her character, it will corrupt him or her. But then Thomas Jefferson has given a very beautiful quote on that. As a leader, you have a lot of power. As a director, you can do this. As a teacher, you can do this. As a HOD, you can do this and this. In the home, you are a leader. You can do anything you like to do. How you run the home and all. Jefferson said, "I hope our wisdom will grow. Our wisdom will grow with our power." जैसे जैसे हमारे को power मिलती है, as we rise higher in the hierarchy, and teach us. Our wisdom should teach us what? The less we use our power, the greater it will. I do not require a wand, that stick. I do not require a memo. I should not be using a memo to tell the people do this or do not do this. The less I use my power, the greater it will be. For that to happen, we must have ethical and value-based conduct as a leader, and every one of us is a leader. And this is another one.
To lead people, walk beside them. As for the best leaders, the people do not notice their existence. The next best, the people honor and praise. The next, the people fear. And the next, the people hate. When the best leader's work is done, the people say, we did it ourselves.
Isn't it so beautiful?
Yes, sir.
Isn't it so beautiful? And now I am going to give you one corollary to it. You know, a few years back, I was reading when I was, preparing a lecture on a pedagogy in this institute. I was reading out of literature. What are the best styles of teaching in the classroom? Who is the best teacher in the classroom? Because as a teacher, I am leading the whole class towards the wisdom and towards the developing their competencies. So I was reading a lot about it, and I came across a quote there, and that quote said, please listen to me very carefully, and if you want to take a note, you can take a note of that. It said that the best teaching style is when you leave the class, the student should have a feeling that they knew the subject already. The best teaching style is one, when you leave the class, the student should get a feeling that they knew the subject already. How to create that now? It depends on you. You make the thing so simple, so relevant, and so interesting that the students think that इस टीचर ने आज प्रोफेसर सिंगला क्लास में आए थे, उन्होंने कुछ नहीं पढ़ाया, हमें पहले सब कुछ आता था ये. We already knew this. So a good leader would give a feeling to its people that they have done that themselves. Each one of the person whom the leader is leading, they should have this feeling. To lead the people, walk beside them. As for the best leader, the people do not notice their existence. You should not be, okay, I am you. Touch me not types. The next best, people honor and praise. The next, people fear. Most of the times we create fear. And the next, people hate. And you are actually heading towards the hatred of the people. People do not like when somebody is fearing, you do not like to be fearful of somebody. When the best leader work is done, people say we did it ourselves. And that will happen only when you are following the first strategy, to lead the people, walk beside them. उनके साथ मिलके, participatively, democratically. The first job, yes.
The first job of a leader is to define a vision for the organization. Leadership of the capacity to translate vision into reality.
Yeah. Cincinnati के president of university of Cincinnati के एक person हुए Warren Bennis. He said the first job of a leader is to create a vision. I would like to see that after 21 days, this pandemic is over. That is my leadership. And leadership capacity to translate that into reality also.
Reality.
Can I do that in my home? Can I do that in my street? Can I do that in my institute? Can I do that? Yes. And what it takes, 3 principles I have given you already.
Yes.
And for that, any kind of vision which you are seeing, you want your institute to be a world-class institute. You want your institute to go to such heights that everyone looks forward to take admission in your college. Leadership qualities. Yes.
The ultimate test of a practical leadership is the realization of intended real change that meets the people's enduring needs.
What people need, focus on that. What people need. And you try to bring about those changes which meet those needs. That is basically the ultimate test of the leadership. I want my son to be in IIT. I want my son to be in AIMS. I want my son to be in IIM, or whatever. So now whatever the environment you are creating in the home is your leadership quality. Let me give you one example over here. Uh, when my children were born, I'm talking about, I got married in 87. My first son, he was born in 88, September. His birthday is coming just now, tomorrow itself, 9th September 1988. We do not have a school for parents. Okay, now Mariappanji is getting married, he's going to have children, so he must go to school how to be a good parent. Do we have a school for that? Oh, no, we do not have. We do not have a school for the parenthood and all. So we didn't know how to bring about our son. Whatever little I knew from my grandparents, my parents, we were living in a combined family. So we were trying to learn to be a good parent. Yes. And all of us, those who are married or recently married or have children, they must be understanding what I'm trying to say to you. So we were, myself and my wife, we were trying to find out, okay, our son is born, and after 5 years, 6 years, my daughter was also born, how to give them the best education in the country. Because both of us belong to education. How can they go to the best of the best institute? And there is a lot of competition is going on and all. And we had a family friend, Bharti Singhal, the doctor. She was the gynecologist, and her husband was the orthopedics doctor. They had two daughters. Yes. Mariappan, are you understanding the example?
Yes, sir. They are having two daughters.
In a family friend, they Bharti Singhal and her husband, Suresh Singhal, and they were, husband and wife were doctors. One was orthopedic doctor and one was the gynecologist. And they had two daughters, and we were highly impressed by the behavior of those two daughters, because they were so gentle, so good in speaking and their behavior, everything. I mean, whenever we used to visit them or they used to visit us, we try to learn. And we used to have conversations over the cup of tea whenever they used to visit us or we used to visit them. I asked a question to Mr. Suresh Singhal, Bharti Singhal's husband, who was an orthopedician, that give me some tips how to be a good parent. Your daughters are so nice, so they're behaving and they are topping in the class. I am sure they will go to the best of the best medical college. They wanted to go in the medical college, and they both of them they did their MBBS from AIMS Delhi. And what kind of parenthood you have given to them besides the good schooling and other things. You know what he said? I'm sharing that with you. I'm talking about people's enduring needs, my dear friends. He said, Mr. Singla, I am also Singla, he was also single from the same caste.
Okay.
He said, Mr. Pramod Singla, we had made certain rules in our non-negotiable. जो मैंने पिछली स्लाइड में बताया आपको, non-negotiable ethics and values. Okay.
Yes.
So he said, those are the rules in the home. He said that I and my wife have decided not to watch TV in the, because television takes away major chunk of the time and is a big distraction for the kids. He gave me one tip. Like that, he shared with me some other things also. I am not sharing everything in this session because we have other things to discuss about. But he said that me and Bharti have decided not to watch TV in the home. I said, you can watch and children can study in the study room or in their bedroom. He said, this is the problem. If I switch on TV in the drawing room, my children, out of fear, may not come in the drawing room, but be sure their mind is in the drawing room and the serial which we are watching in the drawing room. They may be opening the book in their study room or in their bedrooms out of fear, but their mind is on what?
Will be
The
TV.
movie which I am watching, the song which I am watching, the show which I am watching, whatever thing. So it is a break list. If you want, you have to play a role model. If I want my student to behave in a way, I need to behave in that. If I want my son, my daughter, my class to behave in a way, if I want that everyone should stop at the red light, I must stop at the red.
Can I add me a word, sir?
Yes, please.
Student will not listen to us. They will follow us.
Yes, you have said, totally, I totally agree with you. मैं क्या कहता हूँ मरियप्पन जी, अभी एक और एग्जाम्पल देता हूँ. So me and my wife decided not to watch TV in the drawing room, and like that we did so many things. And my son got admission in IIT Kanpur, and my daughter got admission in BITS Pilani. And today my son is a faculty member in IIT Roorkee, and my daughter is working at a very top rank in a company known as Synopsys in Munich, Germany. You want everything, but you are not ready to follow the ethics. You are not giving them a right kind of example. And so is the case with my students also. Let me share with you one thing here, my dear friends. All of you are sitting in your offices or maybe in your homes, and you are listening to me. You are just listening to me. Some of you are listening through mobile phones, and some of you are listening through your laptops, and some of you are at your comfort zone and listening to me and reading the slides, listening to me and Dr. Mariyappan ji. And some time back you were listening to Dr. Varish with me, and some of you joined late. Yes, believe me, your student have come to know that you have joined late when you were getting in the class. Believe me so. ये जादू है. This is a magic. How would they come to know? Because this is the demonstration you have given about your student style in a situation. Unknowingly or knowingly, the students are what Mariyappan ji just now said. Just now he mentioned about it. They follow you. They don't listen to you. They follow you. And you are the leader. If you are the leader, if you want everyone in the classroom to come in time, if you want everyone to have a pen and paper, if you want your student to listen very carefully, are we doing that? If you want your student should respond very well, are we responding very well in this class? In every situation, not an exception. आज ये करेंगे, कल को देखेंगे, ऐसा नहीं होगा फिर. They have a magic. They come to know कि Mariyappan ji was so active in the class. He was right in that time. He was doing this. He was contributing, and you will find that same environment in Mariyappan ji's class. Or Varish, or many of you are the role models for your students. Intended changes can happen only. Gandhiji said, "Be the change you want to see in the world." One of the greatest quote by Gandhiji is, "Be the change you want to see in the," and that should meet the people's enduring need, and the results will come automatically. Be sure about it. Do not worry about anything. I am sure the results will come. And the final test of a leader, yes, sir.
The final test of a leader is that he leaves behind in another man the conviction and the will to carry on. Leadership is not a title, it is behavior. Live it.
Yes, I don't have to explain anything. I should be able to give a conviction to each one of my people working under me that they can carry on. I don't make them dependent on me. Redundancy is the word which we use. Redundancy. As a parent, our responsibility is that whatever things I want my children to learn and behave and to exercise, they should not be dependent on me. I don't want to hold finger of my son all my life. Would you like to do that? No. He should be able to walk independently. He should be able to earn independently. He should be able to cross the roads independently. And I should have a conviction that he can do that. And he should also have a conviction that he can, and he is doing that. That is the leadership. It's not a title that I am a professor. I am so and so. Do you know in IITs, there is no professor, there is no associate professor. Oh, designation hai kitabon mein, kapiyon mein hai. But everybody is known as instructor. In IIT Kanpur, I know it very well because my son was studying there and he was teaching there when he was doing his PhD and he was doing his postdoctoral from Dublin University, Ireland. Everyone, HODs to the PhD scholar, they were known as instructor. Who is the instructor of the subject? He or she is the instructor of the subject. So everybody is a teacher there. It's not title. No, so and so is teaching. Professor is teaching us. Associate professor is teaching us. No. Everybody is an instructor. Everybody is a driver on the road. Whether you are a big bureaucrat or whether you are a prime minister or whether you are a ordinary person or anybody, everybody is a driver there. This is what the life is all about. And my dear friends, I don't want you to read it. I mean, Mariappan ji, aap isko padhiye mat. I want everyone to kindly have a look at this. Kindly read it in your heart. 25 traits of character of a leader. A leader's character is very important, and these are the 25 traits I have listed down after a lot of research. Try to have them if you want to lead your class, you lead your department, lead your institute very well. You can take the screenshot or you can take the notes also. I prefer always taking notes because it helps me remaining awake. Otherwise, class में नींद आ जाती है. Adult education में एक सबसे बड़ी problem है कि we do not feel related and we start dozing off. नींद आना शुरू हो जाती है.
आप शेयर करेंगे ना? आप पीपीटी शेयर करेंगे?
पीपीटी शेयर नहीं करेंगे.
अच्छा.
Let me be very honest. I don't want to hold your finger. I want Mariappan ji and Virish ji or everyone to do their independent research. I am trying to create the curiosity in your mind on the subject.
Okay. Sure.
I am very frank and honest on this. I can share, मेरे को कोई problem नहीं, but I don't want to share it. I don't want to hold your fingers. Compassion होना चाहिए. Leader के अंदर compassion होना चाहिए. Empathy. He should understand what is other person is going through. Decisiveness, coolness, not all the time.
What is bearing?
I am glad that you asked me. He should be able to bear. He should be able to bear. Beer किसको कहते हैं? Beer वो पीने वाला beer नहीं है इधर मतलब.
वो डबल ही आएगा.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Sir, it's mean कि जितना हम एक चीज को सहन कर सकते हैं.
Yes. अभी क्या है कि you lose your coolness because of some small incident. Okay, or it can be a big incident too. Just today morning, I came to know that one of my friend's younger sister, who was consulate in Berlin in Germany, she passed away. So I wrote a condolence message to my friend. God give you strength to bear this loss. Are you getting my point? Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
And
yes,
if he or his as a leader, you are not able to bear, the emotions, if you get carried away with the emotions, it can be any emotion, happiness, or it can be sadness, it can be any emotion. You will lose your coolness and you will not be able to take decisions.
Yes, sir. Sir, sorry to interrupt. Hello.
No, please don't be sorry. I love to interact with us.
And sir, like I have an example of my own class. And sir, I am a HOD of a BTTM department, that is Bachelor's in Travel and Tourism Department in the PIMT, Punjab Institute of Management Technology, Khanna. So I have an incident to share. Can I,
Yes,
sir?
yes, Komal, you're welcome. I told you in the beginning, I am here to learn from you. I am happy that you're participating.
Yes, sir. Actually, we have I have a 20 students one class. So one time एक student ने क्या किया and I used to teach them, but he is using mobile in the classroom. So I scroll him. I scroll. Don't use mobile, beta. Don't use mobile. I'm teaching you. Listen to me first. Listen to me first. Okay. एक बार उसने बंद कर दिया, देन अदर अगेन उसने फिर वही सेम प्रॉब्लम, फिर उसके बाद मैंने बोला बेटा आई एम डेयरिंग यू नॉट टू डू दिस अगेन एंड अगेन, अदरवाइज आई विल मतलब आपको क्लास में से मैं बाहर निकाल दूंगी. Let it out.
You have a tendency to lose your coolness. But then, nevertheless, his or her act was also not. Nowadays, children are getting addicted. Or to say children, I myself am a little bit addicted to the mobiles myself. But I know not that choice is very important. Okay, thank you so much, Komalji, for sharing your.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
I hope you got the 25 traits of character of a good leader, and all of them they are pointing to ethics and values. What values you are having. The principles of leadership, I will not go in the details because some people must have talked to you about it. So I prepared this slide for all of you. These are the simple principles of leadership. Set the example, play a role model for them. Know them very well, know your class very well, and look out for their well-being. I want each one of my students to go higher position. There are only two persons, my dear friends, who feel happy when you rise above their level. One is your parents. यदि मेरे father इतनी earning है, if I start earning higher than him, he will be the happiest. And the second, my father means my father and mother, both will be very happy. And if my student start earning higher than me, I feel happy. There is nobody on this earth, not even your brother, not even your sister, believe me so, who will be happier than your teacher and your parents when they rise. Am I right, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So this is the responsibility. This is the see what kind of you are almost close to your parents of a student. Look out for the well-being of your student. What is good for him? Sometimes you have to be harsh. Sometimes you have to be polite. Sometimes you have to be like this. Keep your workers informed. Develop a sense of responsibility in your work. To ensure the task is understood, supervised, and accomplished. Train the team. उसको training. मैम कोमल मैम उसको training की जरूरत है. That boy who is holding the, because he is addicted. He जैसे किसी को smoking की या drinking की habit होती है, उसके खून में आ जाता है. Now similarly, this mobile has come as an addiction to us. De-addiction के लिए you have to make a lot of effort, and not only you, ma'am, the whole environment. Use the full capabilities of your organization. These are the steps for developing a leadership. Have a vision, make decision, take risk. It may be sometimes you have to take a risk. Failure and success may not be, may not be envisaged at the beginning, but then you have to take the risk. Motivate others, build teams, possess self-knowledge, display integrity. We have talked about integrity now very well. Pursue lifelong learning and communicate effectively. Help others to succeed. This is basically some of the things which can help people become good leaders. This is not only theoretically. I have tried to compile that based on my own experience and that of the good leaders who have come across in my life. Lifelong learning. Lifelong learning. Even at the age of 93, my father is now 93 years old. He still refers to dictionary. He doesn't have to sit in an exam of English. He still refers to a dictionary, and he's keeping a diary in his home. If he come across a new word in the newspaper, he reads 3 newspapers: Times of India, The Tribune, and Hindustan Times. In northern India, we don't get too much of Hindu, which is so popular in South. And he reads the newspaper thoroughly. If he come across a new word, he will write it down after referring to the dictionary. What I'm talking about?
Great.
Pursue
Great, sir.
lifelong
Great.
learning. See, he has got now, because he is like that. I scored 518 when I was preparing for my TOEFL test, and my son got 100% marks in GRE and TOEFL.
Oh.
Because this is not something which we need to teach. कि अपनी English को ऐसे करो, वैसे करो, ऐसे करो, वैसे करो. We have seen my father referring to that, and at the age of 93 also, today also, he is learning new words. Lifelong learning. Whatever things we need to learn to do certain things, we should do. वो मेरे को बोलते हैं कि मेरे को ये करना सिखाओ, मेरे को ये करना. New technologies are coming nowadays. New gadgets are coming in the home. That keeps him alive. That keeps him active. That keeps him motivated, and he inspires us, all of us. And
So
similarly,
if we are not doing that, we will become illiterate nowadays.
Yes, we all become illiterate. We all become. I learned a lesson from all of you. My dear friends, let me read this. Let me read this. Ratan Tata ne quote kara ek. He said, apart from values and ethics, which I have tried to live by. Ratan Tata lived by the ethics and values. Uske ilawa, the legacy I would like to leave behind, what he wants to leave behind for the next generation is a simple one, that I have always stood up for what I consider to be right. Ratan Tata का कहना है कि I have always stood up
For the right.
what he considered
It's the right
to be
thing.
right thing to do, and he wants to pass on this legacy to his children, to his generation. And I have tried to be as fair and equitable as I could. That is why Tatas are Tatas. That is why in Bangalore, there is an institute which is higher than IIT's, IISc Bangalore. This is known as Tata Institute because JRD Tata established it. Those are the values and ethics. And he wants to pass it on to the next generations. To be as fair and as equitable, at least your intention should be like that. You may not be sometimes able to do that, but my intention is not to hurt anyone. My intention is to give the right of way to the other people, respect everyone, not to be rude with anyone. And to do my job with all my honesty, with all my dedication, with all my commitment, with all my responsibility. Whatever job it may be. It may be washing the utensils in the evening. Again, you are laughing, but then this is I find that
Yes, sir.
the best thing to do to kill your all stresses from morning till evening. You pile up so many stresses. Just try it once. You will find that you will be stress free. Besides, you are helping the lady in the home. Okay. My dear friends, we cannot talk about ethics and values without talking about morals. There are 7 synonyms. I always go to the rudiments. In my sessions, I always talk about the basics. Basics is morals. And every scripture, चाहे वो हिंदू स्क्रिप्चर है, चाहे वो सिख स्क्रिप्चर है, चाहे वो मुस्लिम स्क्रिप्चर है, चाहे वो बुद्धिस्ट है, चाहे वो क्रिश्चियन है, they talk about the best education about morals is from the scriptures. I'm not talking about any religion here. And there are 7 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 synonyms I could find out, which talks about the moral, ethical, virtuous, righteous, noble, and chaste. There is a hairline difference between all of them. Let us try to see all of them, all the 6 synonyms to the moral. Okay.
Okay.
Do not read it. Kindly, I want all the participants to kindly read it in their heart. And मैंने उनका हिंदी में meaning भी लिखा है, so that we get very clear idea about it. Please forgive me for taking the word. We cannot talk about ethics without talking about naitik, conforming to a standard which is good and right. That is your moral. Good and right. Good for me, but not right thing to do. That should not happen. Good भी है and right.
Right.
Okay. Ethical क्या है? Exercise of that. Achar, vichar, niti shastra. Involvement of more subtle questions like rightness, fairness, and equity. Rightness, fairness, and equity. Without having any discrimination based on any parameter. Because he is black, because he is white, because he is a female, or because he is a male, because he's, from so and so religion, and equity. Treat everyone as a human being. The virtuousness is not about dharmic. It doesn't mean about religion here. Bhadra, virtuous. Bhadra means gentle, gentleman, gentlewoman. We do not use the word gentlewoman. Any idea? Any participant will tell me why we don't see the word gentlewoman?
Gentle human being.
We normally say, gentleman. Why don't we say gentlemen and ladies? We say, no? Why don't we say gentle ladies? Any idea about it?
They are all ladies are always gentle, sir.
They are always gentle. They are always gentle. This is they are always gentle. They are always dharmic and bhadra, virtuous, possession and manifestation of moral excellence. Whenever even the gods are in a problem, they go to the goddess. See what kind of status they enjoy even in the heavens. So we in our families we must respect. If any society has to grow, they must learn how to respect. If I'm driving, if I see a lady, any lady of any age driving, I like to give her the way because she deserves that. I need to be gentleman. She is gentle already. And many times I have seen today, these days, she will tell me, you carry on, I am driving slowly. Don't worry about me. Anyway, virtuous, righteous, nyaya pran, guiltless, blameless, holy, sacredness, sanctimonious, nyaya. I mean, if you have to give a judgment over anything, and if somebody is going to give judgment on you, you should be guiltless. You should be blameless, holy, sacredness. And noble means mahan, moral eminence and freedom from anything petty. Anything petty. हम छोटी सी बात के लिए छोटी. Petty means small. For small thing, I like to break the rules. I like to do this thing and that thing. मेरा 5 रुपए का फायदा होना चाहिए, चाहे पूरी दुनिया का 100 रुपए का नुकसान हो जाए. Petty things, I like to enter into corruption of money, maybe corruption of time, corruption of work, anything. For small gains. Bearing की definition समझ में आ रही है आपको? You should be able to bear those things, but not enter into wrong practices. And the chaste means pavitra, innocent, pure in thought, act, and modest. That is basically chaste. So these are the 6 synonyms of moral. And when I talk about values and ethics, we imbibe all these synonyms in our character. Besides those 25 traits, these are the basics, the foundations, which can make you a good leader, ethical and value based. My dear friends, मैं अभी इनको थोड़ा जल्दी से निकाल रहा हूँ. These are the other things which I normally give a 5-day program only on the ethics and values. But let me talk about something here. Yeah. So let me ask a question from all of you. What are ethics? What are ethics? Let me answer the question also. It is simply two things. Ethics is a system of moral principles. Morals क्या है? हमने अभी बात करी थी उसके बारे में. We talked about the moral. Ethic is concerned with what is good for individuals and society. मेरे लिए भी and society means anybody around me, my family, my friends, my colleagues, my fellow citizens, anything which is good for the individual and society and is also described as moral philosophy. अभी moral के मैंने इसीलिए आपको definition दिया था because this word was going to come here. The term is derived from the Greek word ethos, which can mean custom, habit, character, and disposition. Custom is what is customary to do. Every time you do those things. And what becomes your habits, and that becomes your character, and how you dispose of your mind in a situation is your attitude. Attitude को define करना हो, how you define the attitude is disposition of your mind in a situation. So the ethics are how you dispose of your mind in a situation. I am standing in a queue. Yes, I am standing in a queue to get anything. I mean, maybe I want to board a train or board a bus, or maybe I want to deposit something, or I want, something is there and I am standing in a queue. Disposition of mind is I want to break my queue and then come in the first position. I don't want to stand there and wait. That is my attitude. I want to break the queue. I don't have a patience. I cannot bear to be waiting with the other people around me. Are you getting my point, Dr. Maniappa ji?
Yes, sir. So I think you are going to tell the secret for being ethics.
Yeah, I'm going to come to that slide also.
Yes.
Come to that slide also. I will not leave the session without giving you the secret of that also. The rule. Simple things. And that becomes your character, my dear friends. I have a patience and I respect everyone who is standing before they have come before me in the queue. If I want to reach my destination, I must stop at the red light. Someday I will not be able to reach my destination if I keep on customarily I keep on jumping the red light. Somebody will throw me in the hospital. Why not? And I'm talking with a simple example you can think. Ethics are two things, my dear friends. First, it refers to well-founded standards of right and wrong. Well-founded standards of what is right and what is wrong that prescribe that what human ought to do. मेरे को क्या करना चाहिए? Right क्या है? Wrong क्या है? Right क्या है? Wrong क्या है? And there is nothing right or wrong. I will come down to that also. We'll come down to that. Really, in terms of rights, obligations, benefits of society, fairness, and specific virtues. And second is ethics refer to study and development of one's ethical standard. मैंने अपने ethical standard बनाए. Let me share one example to you. May I? Mariappan ji, may I share one example?
Yes, sir. We are waiting.
Okay. Punctuality की बात करते हैं, discipline की बात करते हैं. We talk about discipline, punctuality. Discipline में और बहुत कुछ है. I'm talking about punctuality. When I was getting married in 87, 4th December, it was winter nights in North India, and we were to print the invitation cards. You know, you have a wedding and you print the invitation card. Nowadays we are having e-cards. In our times we used to have printed cards which you were to go to the friends and the family members, relatives and all that. So we had some sample card with us in which it was written reception of Bharat at 6:30 p.m. Reception of Bharat at
6:30.
My father said that nobody comes at 6:30 p.m. You will not be, the reception of Bharat will not be possible by the girl side. Let us make it 7:30. Let us make it 8:30 and all. You know, he made a calculation that what time you will be able to come on the horse and then followed by the car ride, and you should be there at 6:30 at the doorsteps of the girls' side. 6:30 is too ambitious, my father said. I said, okay, but normally people mention it like that. He said, okay, you decide today what time your Bharat should be received at the girls' home, at the pandal, at that venue. I said, okay, 7:30 kar lete hain isko. He said, okay, you think about it. I said, okay, 8 o'clock kar lete hain. He said, okay, you think about it. I said, okay, 8 o'clock is fine. He said, okay, are you sure your friends and everybody will come at 8 o'clock and that you will be there at 8 o'clock? I said, okay, all right, we will be there. So we printed the cards, 8 o'clock. At 7:30, he had made the calculations in his mind that if we start from home with a horse going to the temple and from there we go by car, it will take half an hour. At 7:30, he made me sit on the horse. And I said, sir, Papa, my friend has not come, so and so relative has not come, and so is not. He said, we are not waiting. I said, but then we have to wait. I cannot be leaving them behind and all. He said, there are girl side ke log hain. They are all waiting for you at 8 o'clock. We have given them 8 o'clock time. Can you believe it? At 7:30, I was there, and with few people, I reached the pandal. Even the girl side people were not there. We had to send them a message that Bharat aa gaya hai time se. So that is basically standard of principles of punctuality which he maintained. And I knew it from the day one that once he says कि इतने time पे ये चीज होगा, unless it is a question of life and death, and he is unable to do, he will do that in that time. Punctuality is a very important thing. Discipline is very important. If he requires 2 chapatis, he will have 2 chapatis, not 2.5 chapati, because you have made something very good in the home. He said, oh, it's very tasty food, but I have 2 chapatis only. So that he can have those chapatis all his life. If you will be indisciplined, doctor will tell you now not to have this, not to have that, not to have this. We do not want go beyond self-discipline. If you want to live a good life, self-discipline is important. Walk karna, ye karna, wo karna. You know, you are everything about. I'm talking about simple things in my life here, my dear friends. If we follow those ethics in my own life, we do not become greedy. We do not become small petty things ke liye, taste ke liye, iske liye, uske liye. We do not sacrifice. They become our standards. They become our standards. Now, this $1 million slide is coming. I will be ending from here. I want each one of you to read it in your heart, then we will talk about it. In a broader sense, my dear friends, ethics refer to moral philosophy or body of principles governing what is right and what is wrong. Now, in many situations, it is very difficult to find out what is right and what is wrong. It is very difficult to find out. If for example, we come across dilemmas in the life. Dilemma means दुविधा. ये करना भी ठीक लग रहा है, ये करना भी ठीक लग रहा है. ठीक है? I have a patient sitting in the back of my car. It seems all right to me to jump the red light so that I reach the hospital earlier. I have seen somebody in the class who is cheating. He has not read in the semester, but he wants to pass somehow. It seems okay to me, being a compassionate person, that everybody in my class should pass. Should I allow cheating in the class or no? A very, very big question. Unethical, ethical. There are so many situations you can think of everyday life, so many situations. Principles governing right and wrong. I am giving you a principle, a simple formula, which Dr. Maniappan and many other my friends are waiting for. Should I or shouldn't I do this? The question is, should I do this or shouldn't I do this? What is right and what is wrong? Should I or shouldn't I? I am giving you one hint here. If you see in the red letters, still small voice. Still small voice. That voice is inside you. That still, you have to be that still stands for two things here. First of all, you have to distract yourself from all other noises outside your state consciousness. That still small voice is voice of your own consciousness. You do not require to know the whole constitution or the rules and regulations. The still small voice, your own consciousness inside you, that is so still that nobody else can listen to that voice. Are you getting my point, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That voice is so still that only you and only you can listen to that voice. And you can listen to that voice when you are in the state of stillness. State of stillness means you are not listening to the outside noises, outside circumstances. Listen to that. This will help you. Should I or shouldn't I? The still small voice inside you always tell you the right thing to do. If you ignore that, you are not following the ethics and values. In proportionate to following your still small voice inside you, you are following the ethics and values. Whatever action you are doing, in your home, in your streets, in the marketplaces, in your offices, whatever still small voice. Tomorrow I have to give a lecture. Yes, Mariappanji?
Yes,
And
yes.
today evening, my friend has invited me for a dinner.
No, you should not go. You have to prepare for that.
लेक्चर तो मेरे को आता है ना सारा और मैं इसको ऐसे ऐसे करके कर लूंगा, 4 स्लाइडें इधर से लूंगा, उधर से लूंगा, ये कर लूंगा, गूगल है, ये है, वो है, and somehow I will be fool my audience. Dinner important है. I won't get to taste. Everybody will be there. They will be missing you so much. I will be missing them so much. All my friends will be, old class fellow will be there. The still small voice will tell you. And it will tell you the solution also, whereby you don't miss that also. And you are also doing justice to your profession. Solutions are always there. Simple solutions are there for everything. Simple solutions are there for everything. Even in my engineering, I'm basically a civil engineer. Even in my engineering, I practice that for many big problems. I am master of constructions. So in the construction site, so many big problems come. My site engineer or my person will tell me, "Ki sir, ye ho gaya." I tell, "Okay, let me think coolly now," and I listen to myself. And all my bachelors of engineering or masters of engineering or whatever studies I have gone through, whatever experience I have learned, I try to listen to it, and the solutions come very simply. They come unfolded. They unfold it to me, and I apply them, and it works out very well. But many times I am not able to quiet myself. Outside noise is too big. I ignore my inner self also many times. in proportionate to your stillness from outside, in proportionate to your listening to your inside, you are taking the right decision. My dear friends, I like to close my session here. I can carry on, and I like to keep something. I like to keep something for all of you to teach me also, ask questions. Together we will try to find the answers. I have gone little more philosophical than I intended to be, but then the topic is such. Usually I give about 4 to 5 days workshop on this ethics and values, but I have tried to highlight some of the important things about ethics and value-based leadership to all of you. I hope you enjoyed the session, and if there is any question, any remarks, anything you want to share with the rest of the group, this is the time for all of us.
Sir, I can tell one thing.
My big thanks to Mariappan ji, to
Thank you,
Varish,
sir. Thank you, sir.
and to
आप
Komal.
सीक्रेट बोला था ना,
All other people are also.
सीक्रेट आप एक सीक्रेट बोला था ना, उसमें जो मन बोलता है
जी
उसको मानना चाहिए, जो दिमाग बोलता
जी
है उसको डाउट करना चाहिए.
उसको डाउट करना चाहिए. और मन तो बहुत कुछ करता है. एक्चुअली में जो आपका मन करता है ना, वो आपको गाइड लिखना चाहिए. कॉन्शियसनेस लिटिल मोर डीपर देन द मन.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your excellent talk. And I request all the participants to switch on their cameras so we can take a group photograph with the sir.
I want to see my audience. I hope you all enjoyed the session. If any question is in your mind, anything you want to say on the topic, you're welcome. Lunch can wait for 5 minutes. Lunch can wait for 10 minutes. People take vitamins and medicines for increasing their blood level, hemoglobin level, HB level. When I see the teachers, मेरा hemoglobin बढ़ जाता है बहुत अपने आप. Teaching is my passion, and when I see good teachers like all of you, now I'm saying your faces, when I interact with them, my hemoglobin increases. बाकी भी अपना अपना वीडियो ऑन कर सकते हैं. कोमल जी, अरुण जी, अपर्णा, they are switching on the videos. Slowly it is coming, I think. Komal ji lives very close to my place. Khanna is very close, about 1 hour journey from here. While going to Ludhiana, we pass through Khanna. Any questions from your mind? You can write it in the chat box. I have not switched on the chat box yet. Oh, people have written wonderful things. Attitude, gratitude, concern, Corona, and sharing are the qualities to be included among every engineer. Yes, I agree. I missed that chat remarks here. Nice story, sir. Thank you so much, Srinivas ji. That is a story which I learned from my granny.